Welcome to a Renault Clio video, the first of ever many videos on this car. This is a 2005 Renault Clio 2, and in this video I'm going to be changing the clutch. So the clutch on this car's gone. The owner of this car's appeared on my channel before when we did the Renault quad. So obviously need to take the gearbox off. Now, the proper procedure is to drop the subframe and support the engine, but I'm not going to do it that way. Don't have to. We just unbolt the gearbox, just move it back, and that should give us enough room to change the clutch. I've seen it done on another video, but before we can get that gearbox off, we need to get access to it, and we'll need to do a few things up top, like remove the battery and the ECU. So get started on that. So the first thing you need to do is take the battery off, and always take the negative terminal off, then you don't short the battery when you're disconnecting the positive terminal. Now this one is 8mm, so ratchet spanner, and that's off. We just took that wire away. Now this positive terminal, it's probably something big. It's usually a 13, usually 10 or 13 most batteries. So that's it. Just pull this terminal off. What am I doing wrong? There we go. And no, that's another 8. So they're both 8 on this car, the second gen Clio. And that's the positive terminal. Now this should lift out, or is it held in? I don't think it's held in. No, just let's have a look. Yeah, it's held in. There's a clamp down there, so I think that's probably a 13mm. Squirt some WD down there. Yeah, it's probably a 13mm. So somewhere here should have a 13mm. So got me 13mm, and that's not quite all the way out. And that should free off the battery clamp. That should be free enough to get out. So and that gives access to our gearbox support bracket. And now next thing I need to do is take this off. Take these off. It's a few bolts there.
I'm not standing here if you're doing it.
And there. There's also 2 more bolts at the bottom there. Again, 10mm. And I think they're 10. Might be bigger actually. Yep, the 10mm. So get them out. And then I've got to think about liberating this ECU. So I'll finish it off camera. And there's another nut down here as well. So hopefully that should be it once that's out. This bracket should come out. It's nearly ready to come out now. So that tray is out. And this is the top part. I should have took this off first before trying to undo the battery box, and then it comes out. The whole lot comes out with the ECU. So next thing I'm going to do is take off the clutch cable. As you can see, with more room to play around with, and I think it's about a 17mm. So I'll undo that and then get the clutch cable out of the way. So clutch cable's out of the way. Can't do much more with that at the moment. But next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the starter motor off. I think it's 2 bolts. there and there, and just the electrics, and that's one good reason for taking the battery out, and you don't have any stray sparks. So I've got the front end raised and up on axle stands, and I'll just quickly show you, losing the light. So I managed to get everything off at this end, track rod end, top bolts for knuckle there, 18mm. I've took caliper off and I've freed off the ABS line, and I need to do the same on the other side. I'm just struggling with track rod end. I didn't bring my ball joint split with me, so I've got to go home and get that, and then drive shafts will be free, and then we can start pulling the gearbox off. I had to free off that bit of wiring loom as well, and I don't think there's much else to do. It's speedo cable, everything's underneath now, so that's why it's up on the axle stands, a bit of room. Like I said, the proper way to do it is to drop the subframe, but we can take this wheel off, and then there's a bit of the arch line that'll come out, and then this needs to come out, and that'll give us room, cheat us a bit more room to pull the gearbox out towards the left side of the car, give us enough room to change the clutch. So got a lot done. I don't know what I showed on camera. I did take the starter motor out. Oh, I managed to free off that bottom ball joint. I got me a ball joint splitter, so I got that out, and this drive shaft were a bit more difficult to get out, but it did go in, so I just sprayed some WD and just put the hub nut back on, just pulled it in and out, and managed to free it off without too much trouble. So drive shafts are out. I've taken the bell housing bolts out. Just go all around. I think there's about 6 or 7 bolts and nuts. They're all 30mm head. And as soon as I took one out, I think the last one out, it dropped a bit, trying to separate. So I'm gonna leave it here tonight. It started raining. It's dark. It's gone 5 o'clock, and we've been out for about 2 or 3 hours. So I think next thing to do, I disconnected the reverse light switch. Oh yeah, and just show you here, just put the light down. I got that bar out of the way. That's a 30mm, and I think it's a 19mm. So that should give us room to pull the gearbox out in this direction, and should be and there's the connector for the reverse light. And also there was a front lambda that needed disconnecting, because the plug the connector clips onto the gearbox. So that's out. Can't think of what else. I think there's just I'll need to support the engine sump. You know, I'll need a block of wood on that. I don't be using the jack straight on the sump. And then just got to take the mounting bracket. And I don't think, no, you can't see it. It's up there somewhere. You can see it from above. So just undo that gearbox mounting bracket, and then gearbox should be ready to come off. So I'll come back to you tomorrow. It'll be seconds for you. So I'll see you tomorrow, or whenever we decide to resume. So got the clutch plate out. I had to get it out from underneath, and they say you're supposed to remove the subframe completely. You do have to lower it a little bit, and it just gets you just enough room. I was able to get it from underneath. So if I go over to, there's his old clutch plate, and that's a Valio one, so that's probably could be the original one. But if we get the new one, we'll compare new with the old. So that's the new clutch plate. Just don't hold that, and see, you can see difference in thickness there. So yeah, we made the right call, and this was only £60 from a local motor factory. You get the full plate kit, you get the cover, the plate, and the release bearing, and I think there should be enough room to change the release bearing. So it's just a matter of putting it all back together. It's reverse of taking it out. I know I didn't show taking the gearbox off, but I did remove the top mount and managed to pull the gearbox out enough to get to the clutch, which is held on by 6 11mm bolts, and you need a 1/4" drive ratchet to get to them, because you can't get in with a ratchet span. You could probably get in with a a ring spanner or an open-ended one, but the 1/4" drive socket did the job. So anyway, enough of my rambling. I'm going to start put everything back together, and then once it's done, ready for the first test drive. So I've managed to get the clutch in with just enough room to get it past. I had to jack the gearbox up a bit because input shaft was in the way, but it's basically in. So something to note is you know, get your bolts started and just tighten them down gradually. Just keep turning engine, and that way, you know, you're not doing it unevenly. It all pulls it all in evenly, and then you're good. So, and there's a new release bearing there, so it's just a matter of getting the gearbox on now and just putting everything back together. And these dowels should help in aligning the gearbox with the engine. So I think that's going to be a job for another day, which will be in moments for you. Well, it's now 2 days later since I shot the last piece of footage, and I'm on day 4 of this. I've got quite a bit done. The gearbox is back in. I've buttoned up a few stuff, and I've even managed to get some all back in gearbox, because I lost a lot of it when I took the drive shaft out on the left hand side. So I managed to put a couple of litres back in. These gearboxes on these 2nd generation Clios take 3.4 litres. So yep, got some gearbox oil back in, and all I've got left to do is put the drive shafts back in and button up the suspension at both sides. And I was worried, I thought I'd lost one of my nuts from my track rod end. Yep, so we're good on that. I need to put the brakes back together as well. But once that's done, I can I'm pretty much there. There's just the ECU battery tray and battery to put in, and I think that's about it. That's pretty much it. There isn't really much left to do. Anyway, enough of my talking and rambling. I'm going to finish buttoning up off camera, and then we'll be ready for the start up. Okay, I'm all buttoned up. Got a bit of a funny camera angle here because my round I'd usually put on the door it's lost a vital piece of it, so I'm just going to improvise with my chest cam. Alright, I've actually been running engine a bit to warm it up, but this is time for the moment of truth. And I'm struggling. I'm struggling to put it into gear, so I'm going to have to check it. Right, what the problem was I'd stuck the clutch plate to the clutch covered a couple of drops of super glue, and the bond hadn't broken. I had to run it around a bit. You know, start it up in gear, foot on the clutch, just run it around until it broke off, you know, just like a stuck clutch. So it's working, I can get it into gear. That's why I couldn't get it into gear, because it was just permanently connected with the engine to the gearbox. The only way I could do it was turn the engine off, put it into gear, start it in gear, because there's enough torque on the starter motor to move the car. Just managed to get it on the road. Anyway, I'll show you what it's like. So, and there we go. Let's give it a bit of a run around the block. Oh. Just run it round. I'm at local Tesco, and I'll just see what it's like to set off. So just let out the clutch, and there's got the biting point. It's quite high on the 2nd generation Clios. So we'll come out of here as a steep hill, so that should test the clutch. Run it around for a couple of miles. done this before. Yep, that is absolutely 100% a confirmed fix. So we'll get this parked up and I'll scan it for codes while I'm here. I brought my code reader with me, so get that scanned for codes. So I'll show you where the diagnostic port is located. You see this this storage tray. Sorry, I've got camera in one hand and phone in the other, trying to record it all. Just move it so you can get some light. You just lift that up and there's your OBD2 port. So I'll get a scanner in, read it, see what fault codes come up. There might be a few with disconnected battery, so we'll see what comes up. So I've finished scanning it. We'll just create a little report and see what that has to say. I think it's all to do with battery being disconnected. So let's have a look. And yeah, it's come. See, there's one voltage too low. That's because we disconnected the battery. And downstream oxygen sensor circuit, that we disconnected one of the oxygen sensors and we dropped the gearbox. But yeah, I'm not too worried about them. Create a PDF for future reference. Okay, we'll go back. Right, we'll get these cleared. Yes. See what comes back immediately. So we seem to be green across the board, so we're all good there. So I'm going to end the video here. I've done what I set out to do it. I've sorted out the clutch. So I hope you enjoyed this video. You'll probably see this car again. He wants me to do a service on it, so chances are you'll see this car back on the channel at some point in the future. So thanks for watching as ever, and I'll see you.